Let me now invite Benson Kyambile to please come up on stage. Benson is the Director of Wireless and Core Network Solution Sales at Huawei. Benson, will you please come forward?
Good evening, everyone. Yes, okay. First, I would like to acknowledge all of you for attending this summit. Of course, it is very important. My name is Benson Kyambile. I'm the Wireless and Core Solution Director for Huawei Representative Office. I would like to start my speech by sharing one of the little experience which I faced one time when I visited one of the villages in my hometown. Of course, most of us, we are living in cities, but we have some roots in rural areas. So I visited one of the village around my hometown, and the aim was just to go and greet my ancestor there. When I was there, of course, I was very impressed, and I saw a lot of activity that was going there, like agriculture, livestock, and people were very happy on working and doing all these kind of activity on that areas. So the people in that area, of course, they understood the concept of that agriculture is the backbone on their economic growth. So this notion for me, it was very amazing to see people, they are aware on these issues. So my stay there made me some of the challenge. I saw some of the challenge that those villages were having. One of which was how the people in that rural areas, especially the farmers, were concerned about getting basic information about the weather, diseases, quality seeds, access to the market, etc. As a result, I asked myself a lot of questions. And I think out of this question, most of them are fundamental to the extent that I would like to share with you guys. First question was, what exactly is the reason? And what up to this century, the 21st century, there's still more than 60% of population in sub-Saharan Africa is not connected. And second was, how do we solve the challenges of rural connectivity? I think you can help me to find the answers, and while you guys are thinking about the answers, let me proceed. Africa is a very large continent with abundant natural resources. The continent is also blessed with large numbers of people, and unique things about the population is that more than 60% of them live in rural areas. And again, more than 60% of these people who are living in rural areas are involved in agriculture. In Tanzania, for instance, more than 60% of the Tanzanians are farmers living in rural areas. But one nothing worth is that the number of rural population in sub-Saharan Africa that is not connected is big. And we cannot afford not to change the status. Because if we do not connect the rural population, Africa is going to lose much by digital gap. Therefore, it is that spirit that continues to make the African connectivity one of the agenda, especially for rural connectivity. Huawei is one of the high priority topic. Of course, we have many barriers to lack of connectivity in rural areas, which include but not limited to digital infrastructures, devices, digital literacy, etc. However, digital infrastructure is always number one when we talk about the connectivity, rural connectivity. Despite of all these barriers, as stakeholders, we still have responsibility to ensure that we connect the unconnected from house to house, village to village, and finally, the whole continent. In connecting the unconnected population in Africa, in my opinion, we need to look deeply on those barriers to connectivity to rural population. On this occasion, the point of connection for me and you is how do we solve the challenges? When we think about the answers of this question, this is where I believe the industry and the ecosystem should come together and try to bring innovative connectivity technology to improve rural area connectivity. In this area, Huawei has worked a lot in collaboration with all stakeholders, such as government, operators, and other industry players, to come up with innovative solutions that will facilitate the deployment of rural connectivity at low cost, targeting the fundamental of issues of rural coverage. The lack of connectivity in rural areas is affecting trade and economy growth. Without the internet, rural farmers' business are being restricted in their locality. Imagine a farmer from Kipitimbi village in Tanzania. If he had an internet connection, how many people he would have reached in the market just by his phone through online business? The answer is huge market. So he could sell his product more quickly and reasonable prices. Through this installation of rural communication infrastructure and enabling rural residents to be connected to the internet, business activity can largely increase, especially through business or online business. For instance, another example is the export of Rwandan coffee, to China for year of 2020 during the COVID-19 reminded us the importance of digital transformation. We witnessed the astronomical growth of almost more than 400%. Rise was, of course, driven by the online platform. So with the example above, this shows how the connectivity of rural areas is fundamental to the development of individual and society as a whole. Everyone on Africa continent deserves the benefit from the advantage of connectivity and communication services, including rural areas. Huawei is ready to work with all stakeholders to ensure a successful rural communication deployment. We will continue to cooperate closely with all operators and government initiatives in Africa that bridge the digital divide. We are looking forward to your industrial support so that we can move faster to increase the connectivity in Africa. Huawei is committed on bringing digital to every person, every home, and every organization for a fully connected and intelligent world. Thank you. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Benson. A big round of applause for Benson. Once again, Benson and the team from Huawei will be available for question-answer discussions afterwards. Thank you so much, Benson.